once I get to that like top level of stress where I'm like, I literally can't take one more thing. Like I'm gonna cry in the bathroom with my dog because he has diarrhea. Like it literally makes you have to act and do something to get rid of the stress. Hey everyone, it's Ariel and welcome back to another episode of Real Ones. Today's episode is episode number 5 and we are talking mainly about stress and how stress can sometimes actually be a good thing, even though it obviously feels far from that in the moment. But yeah, a lot of other things too. TikToks, of course, some things I've been loving, and a couple other segments. So yeah, let's get into the episode. Welcome here. Thank you for tuning in. I actually, like right before I started recording this, I was listening to music and I was listening to Heartless by Kanye West, and that song always reminds me of like preteen dances. I don't know. Did anybody else go to those? Like, was that a thing in a lot of places? Because I remember that being like the thing to do when you were like 13, 14, 12 even. And they even gave me, I wonder if I still have this. They gave me like a little ID card, like a preteen ID card with my picture on it and everything, which like I guess proved that you were like a certain age. I don't remember how old you had to be. And I feel like I lied about my age. I think I remember that. I feel like it was maybe that you had to be 13 and I was 12 or something like that. Like just barely too young, you know? But anyway, yeah, that song, could you be so hard? That was like the song of, well, one of the songs of like, when would that have been? Like 2006, 2007. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. Good times. All that like old 2000s music. It's the best. Also, I have been looking at, well, I guess I've been listening to more podcasts too, but I've been like looking for more podcasts lately because like I have a podcast and I'm like, I should probably like just be more into that world. I don't know. I don't even have these episodes on Spotify or anything yet, but hopefully soon. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, it already is on Spotify, but as of right now, they are just on YouTube. But yeah, so I'm trying to get into the more of the world of podcasts. Like there's lots of podcasts on Spotify. So I was scrolling through like all of the top, like the podcast charts in the United States, and there is another podcast called Real Ones, and I was like, wait a second, it's by the guy that's in, I mean, he's from a lot of stuff, but he's in The Walking Dead. I can't remember, is his name like Shane or something? I can't remember, but I was like, this guy has a podcast called Real Ones, like for real, but it's spelled like the real way, like REAL ones. So I mean, it's not the exact same, but I'm like, bruh. And I think it's like number, I don't know, it's like up there on the charts. Like it's like around 10 or 15 on like the top charts. So I thought that was interesting. I feel like I should listen to it kind of, but I'm scared. What if it's like super similar to mine and then I'm like, oh no, I have to change mine. No, I wouldn't change mine. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I will keep you guys updated if I decide to listen to it. Actually, no, I won't because that's not interesting. But yeah, let me stop rambling. Actually, I have such an ADHD brain, I swear. There's so many thoughts in my brain, and I feel like sometimes I don't know which ones I should say and which ones I shouldn't, especially because like this is a solo podcast, and I've been thinking a lot about like, because I've been looking more into podcasts, and a lot of podcasts have guests, which I personally feel like makes it a lot more interesting because then there's like more than one angle, there's more than one perspective, there's more than one person's thoughts. So it's interesting when it's just me literally in my living room like talking to the camera, and I'm like, I hope I don't say anything that's like too, like I shouldn't have said, you know what I mean? I hope that one day I can like get guests on this podcast. That would be really cool, I think. But for now it's just me and literally my thoughts, and if I say weird stuff, sorry, it's just what came out of me and my undiagnosed ADHD brain. But anyway, let's get into the juice. It has the juice of this podcast. Something exciting that I wanted to mention. Last week, I told you guys that I was learning Spanish on Duolingo, and I passed my 30-day streak. I'm so excited. I think I'm at like 34 days or something now. I actually skipped yesterday. But the app does this thing where it like freezes your streak. So like if you miss a day, like say you're on day 30 and then you miss a day, it'll just freeze you at 30, and then like the next day after the day that you missed, it'll put you at 31. So like it kind of, that's happened to me a couple times where like I skipped it, but I still technically kept my streak. I think it only does that like 3 times or something, and then it just like actually restarts. But yeah, learning Spanish, I'm very excited about that and proud that I've made it a month with, you know, a few saves with my little streak freeze on the app, but very exciting. And I don't know, I like wasn't expecting to even be learning Spanish this year, like for real, but it's happening. 1 month in, going strong. So yeah, that's cool. What else do I have? Okay, let's get into the topic of today's episode. So, stress. There's kind of 2 parts to this main topic. One of them is self-care, and the other one is stress, but like the good parts about stress. So I'm going to kind of combine them, but first let's talk about stress. So I did like a tiny bit of research. I didn't go into this too like deep or anything, but I did find a few things that were really interesting about stress. And the first thing I learned is that there's 2 kinds of stress. One is called eustress. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Is the good, challenging kind of stress. So that's like the technical or professional term for it. And then there's also de-stress, which is not good. That's the stress that's like too overwhelming. It's negative. So I thought that was kind of interesting. There's 2 kinds of stress, but we're mainly going to be talking about eustress, the good kind of stress, because I think it's an interesting topic. So let me share some of the things I found. So good stress, also known as eustress, is the positive stress response involving optimal levels of stimulation. The stress response is designed to help us react when something potentially threatening happens, to help us deal with it and learn from it. Moderate, short-lived stress can improve alertness and performance and boost memory. It has all these benefits. Like stress actually has physical, well, I don't want to say physical, but it actually has benefits. So it helps boost memory, improve alertness and performance. It gives you optimal levels of stimulation. So it's like challenging your body in a good way and like pushing you a little bit, but in a way that makes you kind of have to act on it in a positive way. Let me read what the professionals have said though. Stress helps you meet your daily challenges and motivates you to reach your goals, ultimately making you a smarter, happier, and healthier person. Also, it helps you dodge a cold, this one says. The fight or flight response you feel when stressed is designed to protect you, whether it's from injury. I didn't finish what that one said, but I'm assuming like whether it's from injury or like something that can make you sick, like a cold. So the reason why I even wanted to talk about this is because I feel like I go through waves of stress, and which I think a lot of us do. Like that's pretty normal. It's like sometimes everything in life is just going smooth, it's going good, and then like 10 things happen all at once, and it's like you're up to here and like you're overwhelmed and everything is stressful, and it's like you literally can't take one more thing or else your brain is going to explode from stress. But I was thinking, and I think I saw something about this which kind of like made me connect this like recent stressful bout that I had, and it was just talking about how stress can sometimes be a good thing, and basically that it makes you have to act on it. And I was thinking during this stressful time that I had, like, you guys, I don't know if I should out myself. See, this is one of those times where I'm like, I kind of wish somebody else was here to tell me, like, should I cut this out? Like, is this not? I don't know why I have a podcast, you guys. But whatever. This is the Real Ones podcast, so it's okay. The real ones will understand. The tipping point of my stress recently, after a bunch of other stuff had happened, but I'll just tell you guys what put me over. Winston, my dog, had diarrhea. I think this actually kind of traumatized me, but he had diarrhea. I'll make this brief. It was so bad that it was like, it got smeared on his bottom, and I had to like really clean it thoroughly and like get close to it. It was just really disgusting. And I felt bad for him because like he was just trying to get it out of him. His stomach was clearly upset. And then he had this like traumatic experience with me, and I'm like, this is just, anyway, I had to like put him in the bathtub. It smelled so bad. It was just so disgusting. I literally started crying. I'm like, this is stressful for both of us right now. Like, I don't know what else to do. It was like my body's natural response to this like last stressful thing after all the other things this week or this 2 weeks, whatever it was. And that just put me over. Okay, so let me try to get back on track. So that happened. So the interesting thing about stress, I feel like for me personally, when I get stressed, it's because like I've put things off for too long, and then they start like building up, and then new things come in and add to like this huge pile of stuff that I've now been putting off, and then these new things are coming in and being added to it. Like, that's like when I get the most stressed personally. I know everyone's stress is different, and like everyone's lives are different, and they have to deal with different things that make them stressed. But I feel like once I get to that like top level of stress where I'm like, I literally can't take one more thing. Like, I'm gonna cry in the bathroom with my dog because he has diarrhea. Like, it sounds ridiculous now, but like in the time it was so stressful because I'm like, all these things are happening, and now I have to deal with this, and this is stressful in itself. But I feel like the only thing that I have left to do when I get to that like max level stress is start like acting on the things that are making me stressed. Does that make sense? Like, let's say I did laundry 2 days ago and I still haven't folded the clothes. That's stressful to me. But now all these other things have happened, and it's like, why don't I just do it? I just have to do it now, or it's just going to keep building up, and then I'm going to have next week's laundry to do, and it's going to go on top of this one, and I'm going to be double stressed, you know? So the good thing about stress, even though it feels like everything's going terribly wrong and you can't keep up and you don't know how to get out of it, there is something to the fact that it literally makes you have to act and do something to get rid of the stress. And again, there are different kinds of stress. So it could be distress, which is not good. So it does depend on the situation and like the thing that's causing you stress. Like, sometimes there is nothing you can do about a stressful situation, which obviously would fall under the bad stress. But I feel like this episode is getting a little bit messy, but let me get back to the stuff I wrote down. So this one says, the surge in energy that short-term stress gives you can also help you focus. Psychologists call this feeling flow, and good stress can help you achieve it. A stressor like running a marathon, taking an exam, starting a new job, giving a presentation, meeting a new friend, taking on a new hobby, getting married, or becoming a new parent will kickstart neurobiology in a way that will get you into the zone. This is by someone named Dr. Sarani. This is why some people work better under pressure. The short-term stress helps your brain zero in on the task it needs to do and shut out everything else. And I feel like we can all probably relate to that. Like, there's sometimes a situation where like you're stressed, but it's like you can almost like feel your body using that as like fuel, you know, to get whatever that stressful thing is out of the way and like just move past it. Like, do whatever you need to do with it and get rid of it, like get it out of your way. And also the part about helping you get in flow is super interesting to me, because that kind of proves that like a certain level of stress is actually really beneficial. And like, it's hard to get into a flow with your work. It's really hard, even with like life things. Like, that's kind of why routine is so hard for some people, because like it's hard to grasp that like flow and get everything moving consistently on repeat. But certain stressors help you reach that. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little all over the place with this, but I hope you guys are like getting what I'm trying to say. And it's mainly that stress sometimes really can be a good thing, and you can use that. So if you know that, like, let's take some of these examples, like taking an exam or giving a presentation. That's a really good one. Let's say you know that on Monday at 10 a.m. you're doing a presentation in front of 50 people and you're nervous, because that is scary. If you know already that that is going to be stressful for you, you can use that to channel that inner flow state and inner like confidence and fuel to help you push through that and actually come out of that in a positive way. And this is the other interesting thing. If you do that successfully and you figure out how to use your stress in a positive way and it goes amazing, everyone loved your presentation, you can then store that exact situation where you were in this classroom or wherever you were doing this presentation in front of 50 people and you were nervous and stressed, but you pushed through it and it came out amazing. You can remember that. And the next time, channel that exact same thing and do it again. Like you can literally manipulate kind of, I don't know if that's a good word, but you can kind of shift your experiences, specifically your stressful experiences, into being a positive thing. And then you can do that over and over again, which is crazy. I read something, I didn't write it down. I kind of wish I would have, but I read something about how like when an animal gets threatened in some way, it's really important for them to like remember where that happened. Like remember details, because then they can, again, they're kind of using that stress in a positive way to be like, oh, I'm going next to this tree again in this field. I remember last time a fox threatened me, you know? And then they can use whatever worked last time to do the same thing again. Or if it worked out negatively, same goes with the presentation example, you can adapt and learn from it. There was also something about that in here to help you. Stress response. The stress response is designed to help us react when something potentially threatening happens, to help us deal with it and learn from it. So sometimes the presentation isn't going to go well, but then instead of just being, sad about it or whatever, you can then learn from it and apply it next time, something different to make it turn out positively. So the same thing goes with the animal example, where if they know that last time they got bitten and almost, killed by this fox in this tree, I don't know what I'm saying, but if they know that they got hurt last time or they almost got hurt, they can remember like, okay, be extra cautious this next time or avoid that area altogether. And we can do the same thing in stressful situations. So I don't know. I think it's a really interesting topic and like just an interesting way to look at stress, because if you have this mindset going into stressful situations or when you're already in them, because sometimes we can't plan for them, they just kind of happen, and then we have to react and adapt and work our way through it and learn from it. But I think if you have this mindset towards stress, it's a lot easier to be positive about it and not just like kind of get nervous and shut down and not know what to do, and you know what I mean. So yeah, hopefully I said something of value there. I feel like that was a lot more messy than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, very interesting topic, I personally think. And to go with that, stress can sometimes be a good thing. And also, I think a big thing that can help prevent stress for some people, again, everyone's lives are different. Everyone has different situations that cause stress. Sometimes you can't do the same things as someone else to make your stress go away, obviously. But I think a lot of us tend to skip self-care time, and that causes stress in itself. So I also wanted to bring that up because I think that, here's the thing. I read something the other day about how this person, I think it was on Quora. I sometimes read on Quora and like find these random, whatever they're called, posts. Just people who have written like their own experiences or stories. I actually really like Quora. If you don't know what that is, well, you know what that is. But if you don't like go on there, you should just like go and check it out. I feel like they have like a little bit of everything. And it's really interesting just like hearing people's perspectives and thoughts and experiences. But anyway, yeah, I was reading this on Quora. He was talking about how, or she, I don't know, plans every day for 15 minutes of self-care. Like every day, no matter what, they do 15 minutes of self-care. And that could be literally anything, whatever self-care means to you. If that's going for a walk, if that's putting on a face mask, if that's taking a 15-minute shower, if it's hanging out with your dog, if it's reading a book, like literally whatever it is, you should do that every day. I think we all should, because if you start neglecting yourself and then stressful situations come in, I feel like it's so much harder to like feel prepped and like ready to tackle something when like you haven't even cared for yourself. And like, especially, not that I really want to get into this, but like, especially if you struggle with like depression, it can be really hard to, and I should say it can be easy to skip self-care and like kind of neglect yourself. But I think it's so important to just put aside a little bit of time every single day for yourself only, nobody else. And it's really not that much time, like 15 minutes. We all have 15 minutes. So I think that that's really important because, again, it can help. It maybe can't help prevent stress for everyone, but it can help you feel a lot more relaxed and like prepared and taken care of. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's just really important that we all like take some time for ourselves. And I think what comes with that is like, you can't, I mean, I don't know if you can like overindulge in self-care, but like it is important to like think about others too. Like you shouldn't only think about yourself, because trust me, there's nothing more annoying and frustrating than somebody who only cares about themselves. But yeah, it's not that much time to just put aside 15 minutes. Even start with 7.5. Start with half of that time and just do something for yourself, because it's important that we're all taken care of, and nobody can take care of us better than ourselves. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like the world operates better if we're all taken care of. So we got to do a little bit of self-care every day, and we'd all be more ready to tackle stress, good and bad. And yeah, we'd all be a lot healthier and happier too, probably. Maybe not with 15 minutes of self-care. We might need a little bit of therapy and stuff too, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that is the main topic. Hopefully I covered everything. Hopefully it resonated with you in some way, despite my like being literally all over the place. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm kind of freezing cold. I'm going to actually, well, can I close this vent? That's annoying. I'm actually going to turn off the AC because I think it heard me. It literally just shut off by itself because I'm like freezing cold right now. I'm actually going to put these socks on that I have here. I was like kind of warm before I started this, and now I'm like freezing cold. So pardon me while I put my socks on. So we're going to get to some TikToks and the quote and words of today's episode. But first, I want to talk about something I've been loving, and it's actually these LUXY hair extensions that I have in my hair right now. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, then you probably saw the stuff that I posted. But yeah, I honestly have been loving these. I literally just got them like really recently, but they might be, it's hard to say, but they might be my favorite LUXY extensions that I own. Might be. I do love all of my extensions, but very excited about these. They're so like natural looking. They're so light. Like I can barely feel that I have extensions in my hair. I feel like when you're wearing like 20-inch ones that come to like here, it's a lot easier to like feel, you know, there's weight to them. Not that they're like heavy, but you can feel that you have them in your head. And I feel like with these, it's like literally so light and weightless. Very much a fan of these. They are 12 inches. They're the part of the Seamless collection from LUXY Hair. And I'm wearing the shade Mocha Brown Balayage, which is like just ever so slightly lighter than my color that I have on my ends, which like really I honestly should recolor at this point. Like it's so faded. But when I wear these extensions, I feel like it actually works perfectly. Like it blends so good. Love these extensions. Honestly, you guys, I really do. And I feel like I'm going to be wearing these a lot because they are so easy and effortlessly chic and natural. I love them. So if you guys want to get a pair for yourself, or if you want to just shop anything that LUXY Hair has, I mean, I promote this brand so much. I am an affiliate with them, but I genuinely love them. Like I will never promote something that I don't actually like. And I do like LUXY. Like I'm telling you guys, they have all kinds of hair extensions, all different lengths. They have ponytail extensions. They have accessories. Like they have sweatshirts. They have hair clips. They have hair tools like curling irons. They've got all kinds of stuff. So if you do want to shop there, make sure you use my code LX-Style by Ariel. I will put it in the link. I will put it in the description along with a link that you guys can shop if you would like to check these out or anything else that they have. Again, my code is LX-Style by Ariel, but look out for the link in the description box as well. But yeah, that's my little plug for the episode. And now I think we should get to some TikToks if I have any speaking left in me today. So the first one I want to share is relevant to today's episode, like kind of the message of self-care, focusing on yourself a little bit more. And it's kind of oh my goodness, it is relative to the episode, the first one I'm going to share. Let me just play it for you guys.
Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Once I got that, it turned my life around. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He said if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune.
I love it. I love how happy he is too. Like he's hyped. He's like, but it's honestly such a good message. Like, I feel like, I don't know if I've ever really like thought about it that way, but that's kind of the reason why like I decided to quit doing hair and like quit my career working for somebody else. 'Cause I'm like, I can envision a better life for myself when like I'm making the rules, you know what I mean? And I mean, I've talked about this, I think, but I think that's kind of what the message is. Like, if you work hard at your job, which obviously is important, you want to like do a good job at your job, whatever you do. If you work hard at your job, you'll make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, like he said, you'll make a fortune. And I just love it. I think it's such a cool perspective, such a good message to tell people, and yeah, just for people to think about. So I have a few others. They're a little more lighthearted. I want to share this one first because I just love this. Sorry, my sister just texted me. By the way, okay, this is off topic, but speaking of my sister, all of my siblings want to be on my podcast. Like, I don't know. I mean, they're not like super talkative or anything, but like neither am I. And I talk on here. If you guys think that'd be interesting, let me know. Or I could wait a little bit and like, wait until this podcast has a little bit more traction, because we're still just starting out. I mean, episode 5, you guys, like, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I do think it would be interesting. And she literally just texted me like, when's the next time you're filming? Because I told her I was filming a podcast and that she should come over. And she was like, oh, like, when's the next time you're filming? I think it would be cool. I was already thinking like I could call that segment like Family Ties or something. Like, just, talk to my siblings or like my relatives, and it might be really interesting. So comment down below if you want that. Let me know. It'll probably happen eventually. I think it will, but I just don't know when. I don't know if now's the time. Anyway, let's get back to the TikToks. This one I just love. So sweet. Let me show you.
That's pocket, Jay. That's what you call pocket.
Oh. How cute is he, you guys? I mean, he's actually like good at drums. Like, I was like, he's like 2. He was like not even 2. It's just crazy to me. And I love drums. Like, it is one of my life goals to learn how to play drums. And I don't know, I probably am too old already to like grasp that concept, but I will most certainly try it if I eventually have the opportunity to, because I think it's the coolest thing ever. Like, if I was in a band, drums 100%. Rock band, do you guys ever play rock band? I'm the drummer, like, every time. But yeah, I just think drums are so cool. And the fact that a like less than 2-year-old can be that good at it, and like the rhythm he has, crazy, adorable. This one I just thought was like Really interesting. There's not that much to it, but I'm just going to play for you guys. I just love this for some reason. It's so like genuine, and it's like not trying to be anything, which is like my favorite kind of content. But yeah, I love that it's just like random clips that he like clearly thought looked cool and was like, I'm just gonna film this. I like it. I think it's cool, and more people should make content like that just because they enjoy it and they think it's beautiful, you know? I think I have one more. Yeah, I have one more. This last one, I feel like it kind of speaks for itself, so I'm not even gonna I don't even need to add to it. I'm just gonna play it for you guys. Here we go. Relatable. Okay, so we are nearing the end of this episode, but of course, lastly, I have a quote for you guys. Actually, I have a couple of words. The main quote that I want to share with you guys is actually a longer one. I'm going to put the full quote at the end of the description box if you guys want to read it, but this is just the main part of it. How we care for ourselves gives our brain messages that shape our self-worth, so we must care for ourselves in every way, every day. Obviously, relative to this podcast and, you know, the whole topic of self-care and just spending a little bit more time on just yourself every single day to make sure that you are cared for. Again, there is more to that quote. I will put it in the description box. Make sure you check it out. But I just think that's a really like beautiful way to put it. And yeah, that's it. The other thing I wanted to say was, it's not actually a quote. It's just like something that I was kind of thinking. And I did kind of see something like this too. I think also on Quora. It might have even been the same post. I can't remember. But it was basically like, work hard when you can and relax when you need to, because basically you're going to have days where you work from, you know, whatever time, 12 hours straight. But you're also going to have days where like you just can't get anything done, or you know, your mind's not in the right place, or you're physically incapable for whatever reason, or you just had a horrible sleep and you can't get your brain to focus on anything. There's gonna be days where you just can't work as hard, or you can't get all the things done that you wanted to, and it's okay. So their advice was, take advantage of those days where you're just, it's like you can just easily like flow from one thing to the next without getting like overwhelmed, you know? And yeah, like take advantage of those days. And it's okay if you have to work till whatever time. I mean, this is more relative if you're like, if you work for yourself, or if you're like a content creator, I guess. Because I know for a lot of people, obviously, it's like you just work 9 to 5 and that's it. But it's still a good message. It's still good advice. And when you need to relax, just relax. Like I mean, I am such a big fan of like that kind of thinking. I don't like to force myself too much. Here's the thing. You have to force yourself, obviously. Like you can't get too comfortable. You can't just be lazy all the time. You have to like get up and do stuff, obviously. But I am a big advocate of breaks being just as important as the work most of the time. So I try not to feel guilty for taking breaks. It's just like sometimes I get in these lulls where I'm like, okay, we've been down for a little bit too long. We all get back up. But yeah, so work hard when you can, relax when you need to. I think that's also a good message for this episode. But yeah, guys, I think that's all I have for you. I think that's a good way to wrap up today's episode. So yeah, don't skip self-care. Spend a little bit more time on yourself. Try 15 minutes a day and just see how much better you feel. I honestly feel like this is such a good tip. Like just 15 minutes a day. But yeah, very important to make sure you are taking care of yourself. And for all of us, we all need to be taken care of. And yeah, because we're all important. We all provide value in different ways, but we cannot pour from an empty cup. I think that's all I got for you guys. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I love you all so much and appreciate you for being here and for supporting my channel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe as always. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Wait, do you guys like the little setup here? I changed the plant. I totally forgot to mention that. I don't know. I've been feeling like the green one. I like it, but I feel like it's too low. And then I'm like, I feel like I need like some kind of table or something to put it on, but it like doesn't really fit there. So then I put this plant there. I'm like, it's kind of, it's more like fall season vibes. So what do you guys think? Let me know if you like that. And I feel like I'm going to keep it. I think I like it, but let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. Anyway.